On the 15th of May in the jungle of Newell, in the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool, he was splashing, enjoying the jungle's great joys, when Horton the elephant heard a small noise. So Horton stopped splashing. He looked toward the sound. That's funny, thought Horton. There's no one around. Then he heard it again, just a very faint yelp, as if some tiny person were calling for help. I'll help you, said Horton, but who are you? Where? He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there, but a small speck of dust blowing past the air. I say, murmured Horton, I've never heard of a small speck of dust that is able to yell. So you know what I think? Why I think there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust. Some sort of creature, very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant's eyes. Some poor little person who's shaking with fear that he'll blow in the pool he's nowhere to steer. I'll just have to save him, because after all, a person's a person, no matter how small. So gently, using the greatest of care, the elephant stretched his great trunk through the air, and he lifted the dust speck and carried it over and placed it down, safe on a clover. Humph, humphed a noise. 'Twas a sour kangaroo and young kangaroo in her pouch. Humph. 2. Why, that speck is small as the head of a pin. A person on that weather never has been. Believe me, said Horton, I tell you sincerely, my ears are quite keen and I hear him quite clearly. I know there's a person down there, and what more? Quite likely there's 2, even 3, even 4, quite likely. A family for all we know. A family with children just starting to grow. So please, Horton said, as a favor to me, try not to disturb them, just please let them be. I think you're a fool, left the sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, me too. You're the biggest blame fool in the jungle of Newell, and the kangaroos plunged in the cool of the pool. What terrible splashing, the elephant frowned. I can't let my very small persons get drowned. I've got to protect them, I'm bigger than they, so he plucked up a clover and hustled away. Through the high jungle tree tops, the news quickly spread. He talks to the dust speck, he's out of his head. Just look at him, walk that speck on the flower. And Horton walked, worrying, almost an hour. Should I put the speck down? Horton thought with alarm. If I do, these persons may come to great harm. I can't put it down, and I won't. After all, a person. Then Horton stopped walking. The speck voice was talking. The voice was so faint he could just barely hear it. Speak up, please, said Horton. He put his ear near it. My friend, came the voice, you're a very fine friend. You've helped us all folks in the dust speck no end. You've saved us all houses, ceilings, and floors. You've saved the churches and grocery stores. You mean, Horton gasped, you have a buildings down there too? Oh yes, piped the voice. We most certainly do. I know, called the voice. I'm too small to be seen, but I'm the mayor of this town, and it's friendly and clean. Our buildings to you would seem terribly small, but to us who aren't big, they are wonderfully tall. My town is called Whoville, for I am a Who, and Whos are thankful and grateful to you. And Horton called back, the mayor of the town, you're safe now, don't worry, I won't let you down. But just as he spoke to the mayor of the speck, 3 big jungle monkeys climbed up Horton's neck. The Wickerham brothers came shouting, what rot, this elephant's talking to Whos and are not. There aren't any Whos, and they don't have a mayor, and we're going to stop all this nonsense, so there. They snatched Horton's clover, they carried it off to a black-bottomed eagle named Vladikov, a mighty strong eagle, a very swift wing, and they said, will you kindly get rid of this thing? And before the poor elephant even could speak, the eagle flew off in his flower in his beak. All that afternoon, the fair into the night, the black-bottomed bird flapped his wings in fast flight, while Horton chased after with groans and over stones, that tattered his toenails and battered his bones, and begged, please don't harm my little folks, who have as much right as us bigger folks. But far, far beyond him, that eagle kept flapping, and over his shoulder called back, quit your yapping, I'll get fly the night, I'm a bird, I don't mind it. I'll hide this tomorrow, you'll never find it. And at 6:56 the next morning he did. It was sure to be a terrible place that he did it too. He let the small clover drop somewhere inside of that great patch of clovers 100 miles wide. Find that, sneered the bird. But I think you will fail. And he left with a flip of his black-bottomed tail. I'll find it, cried Horton. I'll find it or bust. I shall find my friends on the small speck of dust. And clover by clover by clover, with care, he picked up to search them and called, "Are you there?" But clover by clover by clover, he found that one he sought for just one wasn't around. And by noon, poor old Horton, more dead than alive, has picked, searched, and piled up 9,005. Then on through the afternoon, hour after hour, till he found them at last. On the 3 millionth flower, my friends, cried the elephant, "Tell me, do you tell? Are you safe? Are you sound? Are you whole? Are you well?" From down in the speck came the voice of the mayor. "We've really had trouble, much more than our share. When the black-bottomed birdie let go, we dropped. We landed so hard that our claps have all stopped. Our teapots are broken, our rocking chair smashed, and our bicycle tires are blew up when we crashed. So Horton, please," pleaded the voice of the mayor's, "will you stick by us who's while we're making repairs?" "Of course," Horton says. "Of course I'll stick. I'll stick by small folks through thin and through thick." "Humps," humped a voice. "For almost 2 days you've run wild in an instant on the chatting with persons who've never existed. Such carryings on in our peaceful jungle, we've had quite enough of our bellowing bungle. And I'm here to stay, snapped the big kangaroo, "that your silly nonsensical game is all through." And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, "Me too." With the help of Wickersham brothers and dozens of Wickersham uncles and Wickersham cousins and Wickersham in-laws, whose help I've engaged, you're going to be roped, and you're going to be caged. And as for your dust-speck, that shall be boiled in a hot steaming kettle of bezel nuts oil." "Boil it," gasped Horton. "Oh, that you can't do. It's all full of persons. They'll prove it to you."